Hi there, Kevin Tharp here, and today in our lab we are going to do a cross-platform privacy checkup. What we're doing is we are looking at the relationship between you as an individual and the company that would like to use your data to communicate with you. So if we think about our data as a coin. On the head side, whoops, that's upside down. On the head side, there is you, the person who is represented by the data. On the tail side, there is the organizations who are wanting to get access to you. Both the point where they meet is in this coin in this particular metaphor. So what we're going to do is we are going to look at it today from the side of being the producer of data. And so we will make our way forward with that. So the organizations think of you as either a consumer or a customer based upon whether you are already in the pipeline or potentially in the pipeline to allow them to use your data in order to make some money off of you. And so the things that we need to think of from the chapter, they talk about there sort of being three main sources. There is the consumer, there's the organization, and there is the government. And historically, governments are always slow to react. They are reactive when it comes to new technologies. So the innovation is coming from organizations that are seeking to make money, whether it's creating a Facebook or whatever it is. The ultimate goal there that is behind most of the innovation is that desire to create some kind of a product that will satisfy a need that you have so that they can make money off of interactions with you. So, what is your role as a consumer in the digital marketing analytics? And that's what we're going to go into today is that ability to manage in some way the data that you are producing. The only way to not produce data that's in some way accessible to digital marketers is either to not use the internet or to find some way to completely block their access to your data. And there are some ways of doing that to some degree. But what we're going to do today is we're going to make sure that you are aware of the resources that are out there for you to use to help to take control of that. And one of the areas that we're talking about is data privacy. That's that area of balance that when we're talking about that coin, that's what we're talking about is the data privacy is the things that are in place between you, the consumer. See, I use that word too, and those people that are trying to consume your data in order to share content with you and a targeted marketing campaign. So there's really three big players in there. There's a lot more, but the three really big ones in the United States are Amazon, Facebook, and Google. The textbook talks about this. They each have a different role. Amazon is it is flat out commercialism. They are selling you products. They are generating data so that they can show you the best products to get you to make a decision to make a purchase. Facebook is using the data in order to put information in front of you. So the things that show up in your Facebook feed are a result of the data, whether it's the ads or the stories or whatever else shows up inside of a Facebook app or website. That is all based upon them trying to use your eyeballs in order to generate money by putting something in front of you that is going to help them to generate a revenue stream. And then Google is kind of the same thing. They're the doorway between the consumer and the person who wants to advertise to that consumer or be seen by that consumer, and the amount of data that they have on you is just absolutely incredible. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go in and we're going to take a look at some of the places that you may be using. So you're going to look at those tools that you use, those areas in your life, whether it's your phone or your web browser or whatever it is that you're using that is a source of data, so that you can start looking at that. And what you're going to do is you are going to actually go through those, and you are going to do a cross-platform privacy checkup. So what I want you to do in this lab is you're going to take a look at your security, privacy, and data settings in places like your social media, your phone, your browsers, digital assistants, if you're using a Siri or a Echo type of device, and others. There may be things that I'm not thinking about that are part of your life. So basically, if it's digital, if it's online, and you are using it any portion of your day, then it is a place that you should consider looking at the security, the privacy, and the data rules in order for you to manage those relationships. So what we're going to do after that is we are going to, in our first discussions, after you've gone through the lab, I want you to reflect on, and this is what you're going to do in the recording for the discussion, is I want you to reflect on what you've learned about your own personal data by going through the security and privacy checkups. What you're going to do is our typical approach to recording the discussions. I want there to be content in the background. I want there to be a image of you discussing, because that's the nature of how we do these discussions. And then you're going to pick something to have in the background. So as you're reflecting on what you've done, choose some kind of imagery. It may be a still image, it may be a screen from somewhere that you're talking about, or you may want to walk through it. But what I want you to do is I want you to walk through what you're going to use before you do your recording, so that you don't inadvertently reveal information on your screen that you don't want to have visible. So in a minute or two, I'm going to go into some screenshots, and I have already pre-set up those screenshots so that some of my private information that I don't want available out there won't show up. That's what you need to do to, as we're talking about protecting our privacy, that's the first thing you need to think about is something going to be on my screen that I don't want other people to see. So what you will then do after you've walked through that and made sure that the content you're going through doesn't violate your own privacy, then what you're going to do is you're going to record the video with a screen capture and web camera, upload it to YouTube, and you're going to share that to the discussion as an embedded video. So let me go ahead and end this slideshow. And what I want to do is I want to take you to some places that I regularly use, and places, these are places that you can go in and do it too. So the first thing I'm looking at is Amazon. I happen to have a bunch of Alexa devices, Echo devices around my house. We have integrated that into our lives. And so that creates a whole set of different types of data that are being recorded, voice recorded. This particular screen shows how to go in and look at that, detected sounds, all of this. So if you're using any of these devices, that's a place to go and look to see what kind of data they have. And you can review the various access points of this. You can manage the permissions, you can manage your data that is available on your Alexa. And of course, choosing to delete that um, has its own pros and cons. Pros, the data is not out there if you're opposed to the data. Like I've embraced that, living in a digital world, in the place that I am, where I'm trying to teach the world about living in a digital world, I'm going to have a lot of data out there. I am exposing myself, trying to protect myself, but I'm using the digital world to the best of my advantage. That means that some of the data has to be out there. So I wouldn't go through and erase all of this. There may be some aspects of it that I would erase, but frankly, the data is out there. The next thing that we can look at is, move this out of the way. In Facebook, if you go into your profile over under this little dot there, you can get to settings and privacy. When you go into that, it's going to give you the ability to do a privacy checkup, privacy shortcuts. And if you go into your settings, you can look at ad settings, ad topics, and advertisers. And so these are the places where the data about you are stored, so that you can go through here, you can take a look at the data that is in there, and you can control, clean up, change some of that data. So if they have you for an ad topic that isn't relative to you, so it's got I've already told it to see fewer ads about parenting, pets, and politics. If I wanted to see fewer ads about alcohol, I can see fewer ads about alcohol. So those are the ad topics that they happened to have for me. Um, there's different advertisers. You can choose not to be seen. You can see which ones you've hidden, whose ads you've clicked. These are all pieces of data. And then there's the settings that allow you to control that. So that is in Facebook. You're going to have similar things if you're using Instagram or Twitter, whatever social media you're using regularly. Go in there and check to see what kind of data is there, what kind of controls you have for deciding what kind of information, what kind of data ends up being in that point where the the advertisers interact with that. And then for me, the Google account is huge because excuse me, I'm using Google all the time. I'm logged into it with my phone. I'm logged into it on my browsers. I've I've um, I've bought into the digital experience of Google. I choose my phones based upon them being Android so that it can integrate with all the different places. And again, that is part of being a digital consumer or a digital customer, is agreeing that agreeing to what kind of data you're going to share it and with who. So you can come through here. Again, when you go to your account, you can choose the manage your you can choose to manage your account. In here, you see your personal information. You'll see here that there are security recommendations for me to go through, for you to go through. So you can look at the personal information, data and privacy, security, and the kind of sharing and payments that you are doing. So those are things that you want to do in Google. I want to bring your attention to one of the areas that we talked about that the textbook talks about, and that's your location data. So you actually have the ability when you're using a phone or a browser, when you're using a Google account, if you've got the location history turned on, then it's tracking where you're at. And that's one of the ways that you're able to get some very highly targeted, location based, geo based ads that are presented to you. It's how you can say, where is there a restaurant near me, and or where can I get chicken wings near me, and that brings up that. But that's all data that's going out there.